Today is August 9th, and the Yankees have played their one and only series at the Trop. They lose 3, they win 1. It's not fun. Let's do it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY and Jake. Recaps galore and weekly awards. Stat lines, steaming hot takes. Your Yankees news with these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY and Jake. Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY and Jake.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Talkin' Yanks. My name is Jimmy. Sitting next to me is Jake. Behind the plate, we got producer BBD. We're coming to you live from the Roosevelt Studios here in the Bronx. That's rsvlts.com/JOMBOY. The Yankees just lost. They got walked off on. Tough break. We were live in the office hanging out. The pregame show straight into live coverage. So mood isn't as happy as it usually is. Energy isn't all the way up, but we'll persevere. We'll get through it. There's a lot of conversations to have. There's a lot of things to talk about. First, and most important, Jake, how are you doing?
James, I'm doing all right. Don't speak for me on the energy, Big Daddy. I'm bringing that noise. And, yeah, I mean, it ends up being a tougher week for Yankee fans, and that's the life we've been spoiled to. I think, we lose 3 out of 4 to the Rays. I think on the week, 5 out of 7? Something like that. So, obviously, it's bad times, and it's not what you want. But, we also got off to an 8-1 start. So, a leveling off was coming. And that's kind of how it works in baseball. And, yeah, a couple of these games we could have had. Even going back to the Philly series, I think it was, game 3 of this series that ends with an Aaron Judge deep fly ball that everyone's getting perked up about. So it was good to see the fight. There are some wins to take away from this series. There's a lot of heavy conversation. And, yeah, I mean, if you want to be not excited, you can. I mean, the Yanks lost, and we like when they win. But... we go back home, we leave the Trop. I think we've got more reinforcements coming soon. Tough injury mid-series, and it's a lot to talk about, James.
Yeah, the Stanton injury, Higgy injury, people getting called up, people not getting called up. There's a lot going on. I don't know where we fit it all within the burns and the awards. I haven't really thought out my awards yet, so I got to figure that out as we go here live. But, yeah, I mean... There's a lot going on. If you go on any online forum you want, be it Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, if you're crazy enough to go on Facebook and read opinions about the Yankees on there, Instagram, it's full-on panic mode in Yankees fans' tweets. And I feel weird doing a show called Talkin' Yanks.
Sure. And
doing content every game.
Sure.
And seeing people living and dying with every game like I usually do.
Right.
And I just can't.
Yeah.
I don't. Every game is just meh. As soon as they announce that the top 2 teams make the playoffs, I really I'm struggling getting my heart broken when they lose. I just kind of go, okay, well, Tanaka looked great. Paxton looked great. That's going to help us in the playoffs. I'm more so watching these games by, what's going to be our playoff rotation for 1, 2, 3? Who's going to be healthy by the playoffs? And right now, none of this really matters till then. So I keep telling you, I need to get to 4 weeks ahead from now.
Yeah.
So I can start. I almost wish they did a 2-week season if the playoffs is all that matters, because just get me to the playoffs. We're going to be there. The Yankees are going to be there. They're going to be a 3-game series. Now, if a 1-game wild card was on the line,
right,
I may be going very scared, very panic-stricken right now. I can't do it. The Yanks are going to get a 3-game set. I need to be able to scope out what that looks like. Everything before that is kind of just whatever to me.
Yeah, my only counter to that is, I mean, we're pretty big Yankee fans, and they will be in the playoffs, but I think, we would have been saying that before the year, too. Things would have had to go horribly awry in Yankee land for them to not make the playoffs. I know the one-game playoff is intense.
One game set is that's the biggest scary thing going.
Sure, but going into this year, I don't think you thought the Rays had a serious chance of catching the Yanks anyways.
I said nonstop. I was scared of them.
In the playoffs.
No, I was scared of them winning the division in the 60-game series.
Okay.
I said that
In a 60-game season.
60-game season.
Right. I was going back to before the season. I was going back to 162.
162 wasn't scared of the Rays and the division.
So, I mean, you normally enjoy a 162 season, so enjoy this, Big Daddy. And I mean,
I'm not disenjoying it. I feel bad that people are so worried, and I just can't get myself to that place. Or I'm not affected by losses.
Yeah, and I think you should be a little more, because I'll say this. Seeding is going to matter. We don't know what it looks like yet, sure. But you could say that with any baseball season early in the season, although we did hit the quarter waypoint. And, man, the matchups can be very different. If, let's say, the Yankees are the 1 seed, the 8 seeds right now are looking like teams like the Angels or Toronto, which, let's be honest, they don't scare us. Even in a 3-game set, they don't scare us. If let's say the Rays were to pass us and they were to get the 1 hole and then we drop to the 4 hole, that 5-hole team is looking like Cleveland, the White Sox. Yeah. I mean, the Cleveland Indians are scary. We've been talking about it on Talkin' Baseball a lot. So, I mean, I think how I would try to compartmentalize it is it's a shortened season where every game is impactful. Yes, teams are going to be led into the playoffs and playing 3-game sets, but the caliber of team you're going to be playing is drastic.
Yeah, but you got to win. If you don't get the Indians in the 3-game set, you might get them in the next one. You got to win series either way. And I'm just more interested to see what the Yankees' top 3 pitchers will be. Like, it's almost like get me to that point when I can start thinking about the playoff roster. They lose 5 of the last 7. They're still in first place. They have 2 off days. They play 2 against the Braves and the Red Sox again, who suck. They're gonna go on. If you don't think they're gonna go on another 8-1 streak at some point, or 6-2 streak at some point, like if you're in that much concern level, you're kind of being an alarmist for no reason.
Absolutely. If you're any time in baseball a sky is falling person, I mean that's just tough. That's not the sport. I think the thing that sucks more is that it gives the Rays momentum. I was saying this in the pregame show. The Rays got out to a slow start this year. They are on cloud 9. The Snell quote comes out before the series. They take 3 out of 4 at home. They're feeling pretty good. They're hoping this is what sparks their season. It's just, you have a losing week. You lose one of your best players. It's not a good time.
Yeah, obviously I'm the Paxton and Tanaka pitching well are much bigger wins for me than the losses on the record. I'm just trying. I feel bad making my post game recap videos because people want me to be hurt, and I'm not. Everyone's making the playoffs. Well, it's a tournament, not a season this year.
If the bad Yankees baseball continues, maybe you'll feel it, but I will not be rooting for that.
Yeah. Let's get in the burns. We got 4 games to burn. Another doubleheader. I root for no more doubleheaders. And if you're going to do another doubleheader, let's do them just 1 and not 2 in the same week.
Yeah, 1 in a week would be fine. And, the bullpens weren't out by the end. These are all bigger conversations. And, 2 off days this week is going to feel bizarre after what we just went through.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. All right, let's go. Game number 1. I barely remember this one. On your mark. Get set. Burn.
First 4 at the Trop. Between the 2 best teams in the AL East, a Tanaka Tuesday on a Friday as Massa returns to the bump versus Snellagram, Aaron Judge's smile partner, Blake. For the Rays, bottom 1, the Yandy man can. Yandy Diaz single. Jim, why would I mention that? Because that would be the only hit for either side through the first 4. Tanaka was nasty, passing. 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, 5 Ks. Snell and the Rays' pen were just as good. Like describing the number 8, there's zeros in the 8th on the scoreboard. Otto walk, wild pitch. Perez sack fly, and just like that, it's ball game. Sticks did not have it today. Rays pitching looked good. Yanks lose 1-0.
4 hits in the whole game.
4 hits, 2 for each side, right?
Offense looked horrible, but they threw a lot of their best arms.
Yeah.
Snell, Kittredge, Castillo, Anderson, Chazro.
Yeah.
Those are good arms over there. Tanaka and Sessa both combined for 7 innings pitched, 2 hits. That was awesome. That Tanaka does good against the Rays, but to see it again and to go that good is a really, really good sign.
Never flinch. 0 walks.
0. He's looked good.
44 strikes out of 59 pitches. Just no shame in his game, just throwing it up there, hitting 94. TD in the chat just mentioned that. And, yeah, I mean, Tanaka looked good. We're still obviously stretching him out. 59 pitches for him and Snell, funny enough. But, yeah, I mean, Tank just dominant. 59 pitches through 5 innings. This is what we've become accustomed to seeing when Tank goes against the Rays.
Yep. And then the Yankees' bats are just completely dead. DJ calls him out after the game, says it was unacceptable. Yeah. I was watching that post-game live with DJ, and I was expecting him to toe the company line. No,
Sure.
Nothing to worry about, like give a Booney quote. We're nothing to worry about. You have bad days. And he was like, no, you don't. Because the question by Meredith was, do you expect to have these kind of games once in a while in the season? And he was like, no, I think it's unacceptable. We're too good to be doing that. So I like that quote by DJ. Hard to blame anyone for the loss when any pitcher or defense for the loss when the offense has 2 hits and 0 runs.
Yeah, and let's be honest. I mean, we're kind of bearing what the lead was genuinely in Yankees world is the Ottavino pitch to Gary. It's supposed to be an outside slider, and Ottavino yanks it. So picture one of the best sliders in the game, an outside slider from Ottavino that's supposed to be in the other hitter's batter's box. Ottavino yanks, it ends up in the other's batter's box, gets by Gary. Everyone's mad at Gary because that's a knee-jerk reaction of a lot of Yankee fans. It's a wild pitch from Otto, and then it sets up a sac fly, and that's the only run. So, I mean, the inning where the only run was scored, there were no hits. And so that's a frustrating feeling.
And the walks. And walks are
2 walks,
continuing thing in this series.
Two walks in the game, both to Ottavino, and how the winning run scores.
And when you look at Tanaka and you look at Paxton, you kind of like, hey, maybe if you throw strikes against this Rays team, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not against, there's 1 or 2 guys. It's Meadow, and then depending your lefty-righty matchup, there's one other guy that day that kind of scares you. And yeah, when they attacked the Yankees, I mean, they looked pretty good, except the end of Paxton start, which we'll get to in a little bit. But yeah, I think the other storyline was Talkman was getting rolling starts in this game. He was up to like 5 straight or something like that. And yeah, I mean, tough. I mean, looking at the box score, geez, the hits were Talkman and DJ, who were 9-1. So how about when 2 through 8 goes hitless? It's tough.
Tough
way to win baseball games.
Sessa, though.
Sessa returns. He looks solid. Luis Sessa. He gives up 1 double, but he's got 2 strikeouts. He gets through. Sessa's back. He's if you're watching the Yankees fight through these jam-packed weeks, Sessa becomes a very important piece.
3.1 innings, 0 earned runs.
If you're doing, what was it, 6 games in 4 days, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing stretches like that, I mean, Luis Sessa's a guy that can give you 40 bullets in 2 of those games, which becomes giantly important.
Yeah.
So.
Crazy.
Giantly important. Cool, Jake.
All right, next
really
up,
cool
we
phrase.
got the doubleheader, 2 more 7-inning games. Jake, let's go to game number 1 of the doubleheader, 2 of the series. On your mark, get set, burn!
We're playing 2, and we've got 2 of the best baseball arms. Garrett Cole versus Tyler, the Creator Glasnow, but the Yanks would hit him with an earthquake in the 3rd. Like a Jewish wedding ceremony, Ford smashes Glasnow. 437 feet to center, 2-0 Yanks. Geodude uses smash. It's highly effective. 2 RBI double. Giancarlo, let the rhythm take you over, Giancarlo. 5-0 Yanks. A tough ending to Cole's day as he gets 1 out away from finishing the 5th. Jose Martinez clips him. It's 5-3 Yanks, but the judge orders this one to be over. 2-run blast. Urshela with the Ursurance sac fly. Cole to the goose to Otto. Yanks win 8-4 final.
This is it's a win.
It's a win. They won the game.
8 runs got put up in 7 innings, 11 hits, so that's all good and well.
Hard facts.
It was upsetting that they had to use Chad and Otto in game 1 of the doubleheader. You'd like that not to happen.
Yeah.
Cole runs out of gas when he gets towards 100 pitches. A lot of people will tell you and me that, well, he gets the win. He finishes if Gary just catches that changeup that he got crossed up on, which I don't think was going to be called a strike to begin with. And it was a cross-up, which is happening a lot, happened with Britton as well, so I'm not sure where it is.
Right.
It's definitely someone's at fault for that. Probably both of them. Maybe just Gary, maybe the pitcher. We have no idea. And this is what I always say, and I've been saying for years. Cole still gave up a double and a home run. He still threw the ball, and those things happened.
Yeah.
So he is not blameless there. And it's a little upsetting because twice now we've seen Cole. He says he feels good, but just kind of run out of steam when he gets to 100 pitches and get hit hard.
Yeah.
So it sucks that we have to go to Chad, who pitched well, and then Otto. You would have liked Cole to go deeper, but he just couldn't get quick outs. They're fouling balls off. They're taking pitches and all that, but the offense does well.
Yeah, and I mean, we do forget sometimes that Garrett Cole is human, and third time through the lineup, getting up to 100 pitch, probably still not fully built up where Garrett Cole would like to be. I mean, we're in this abbreviated season, and again, this Rays team doesn't scare you lineup-wise a lot. Like I said, it's Austin Meadows and then the other side of the platoon. The other side of the platoon, G-Man Choi, who, I think around baseball, he's got the big smile. He's a little pudgy. People like him. He's got really good numbers against Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
So his third time through the lineup, he hits the double, and then it's kind of that game of chicken where I get it. Don't get me wrong. I am a big traditionalist in this motto. I love getting that starter, that final out, and we do the conversation on here so many times. It just the box score 4.2 one earned run looks so much worse than 5 one earned run, and the unfortunate part is 4.2 3 earned runs looks bad. So it was a really sucky ending to Cole's day. Again, the Yanks were in control of this one, and Jim, I mean, we talk about we gave the Yankees credit on the doubleheader versus the Phillies when they made them dig deeper into their bullpen because that eliminated them for the second game. And I guess the Rays get a little credit there, too. I mean, they still hit the ball off Garrett Cole. So a little bit of credit to the Rays. Yanks have to use their good bullpen. Aaron Judge with another mammoth home run. And, yeah, I mean, the only part that sucks if you're interactive on Yankees Twitter, Instagram, whatever, and that's, where we live because that's how a big way that we kind of built this and we get into it with people. It just sucked that the story after the win, Garrett Cole versus Tyler Glasnow, who the Yankees handled easily, the conversation is about Garrett Cole not being able to finish it. The conversation is more Gary crap. It's, and it drains us, to be honest.
He looks bad. I mean, and the at-bats are looking bad again. So, it's just a different level, whatever.
And people, if you saw this and you're sitting at home brewing, I mean, it was a very clear cross-up. You just don't traditionally see a lot of cross-ups on a fastball and a changeup. Normally it's fastball, curveball, because that's totally different reactions. Gary Sanchez got fooled by a Garrett Cole changeup because he didn't know it was coming. He was expecting a fastball. So, I mean, the people that were just eating that up, that sucked. Yankees win a nice game 8-4, and it almost didn't feel that way.
They won, and the fan base, at least on that reaches out to us on social medias, was still so pissed off.
Having a bad time, yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough time, but whatever. The bats come alive. That Ford home run was awesome.
That was powerful. Stanton and Judge both homered in this game.
And now let's go.
That feels weeks ago.
now let's go to Game 2 of the doubleheader. Which is, okay, let's go to Game 2. On your mark.
Game 3, Game 2 of the day.
Get set. Burn!
Welcome to the King's Court as Mike gets the pill versus Ryan Thompson. Sure, didn't even make a joke about you. A.K.A. Bullpen Day from Tampa. Bottom 1 bases hucked walk is royally bad by the King. Speaking of Kings, Louis V. RBI single. They call Austin Meadows the chiropractor as he opens things up with a back-breaking 2 RBI single. Rays would add 2 more to make it 5-1. Kinger was actually solid for a little bit of this game, but it ends up looking not so great. Would the Yankees have a rally in their bones? Michael K., friend. The Machine, 2 RBI single to bring the tying run. Aaron Judge versus Nick Anderson does not get much better than that. Unfortunately, Mr. Anderson gets Neo today as Judge just misses a game-tying home run. Yankees lose 5-3.
Doubleheader day.
Doubleheader day.
You had to use some good arms. You don't have Canely. You don't have Chapman. What if I told you the Yankees started Mike King in his first ever start? Then they went to Luis Avalon.
Yeah.
Then they went to Albert Abreu making his MLB debut.
Yeah.
Then they went to Ben Heller making his season debut and comeback. What if I told you that? Would you allow yourself to get incredibly frustrated if the Yankees lose that game?
I mean, yes, but just because we're a Ben Heller pod,
Yeah.
so I'd assume he's coming in for the save. So I'm a little biased there.
Like, who matters out of this game?
Ooh.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Like someone in the chat said, Jimmy, you should be worried. Why would I be worried that
Right.
Mike King, Luis Avalon, Albert Abreu, and Ben Heller gave up runs, and they had to pitch because we're doing 5 games in 4 days or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
And, I understand they have to pitch because we just don't have enough arms. Why would I be worried about these 4 guys costing us the game? The offense got 3 runs, 8 hits. Now, the offense didn't do great, and there was some bad breaks and bad at-bats. But, come on. This is just a throwaway game.
Right.
You cannot let a game, Mike King, Luis Avalon, Albert Abreu, Ben Heller, that has no bearing on how the Yankees do in the postseason. 0.00 bearing on how the Yankees do in a postseason. So I'm getting so frustrated with this.
I agree with you player-wise. Again, I still think standings could matter. So I if the Yankees were to come 1 game short of something, of the 1 seed or the 2 seed, I do think that matters to a degree. I think a couple things here. You say, why should we care about these players? I think another effect of this was there's a player who still hasn't been called up that people are mad that didn't get called up.
Yeah.
So
there's
a little effect on that. Also, this just turned into the ugly walk game again. King ended up with 5, Avalon with 2, Abreu with 2. There was one Boone decision that I think people could get mad at about this when they brought in Avalon. The hitter before that was Kiermaier.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have pinch hit for Kiermaier because they love Kiermaier when he's in. So then you would have had lefty on lefty versus Avalon. And if you were willing to bring him in for the next batter,
bring him in for lefty.
Why not go there? So
Michael King lost the zone, and Carapuzzi, the pitcher, the umpire, definitely changed his zone after Kratz and the pitcher took off. And a 37-year-old veteran Kratz should probably not do that. Probably not take off on the ump before he makes his call. You know he's going to get pitched. You know that these umps are human and petty. So just don't do it.
Did you call Kratz 37?
How old is he?
I think he's 40.
He's
It was very nice of you.
37 in 2017, so I just think of him as 37.
It's there, frozen in time.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I don't care.
I get what you're saying. And then, as Yankee fans, you get it. Aaron Judge comes to the plate to tie up a game. That's always going to get you excited, and that was a really fun at-bat. Yeah, it's tough, when you do look at that pitching box score, you wonder, come playoff time, who of those guys are going to get the pill.
Avalon?
Maybe Avalon to get 1 out in an inning.
Yeah. Then
fake an injury and come out if he doesn't. But, yeah, it's tough because they are in it, and that's This felt like the Phillies game from the other doubleheader. The Phillies had a giant lead, felt like the game was over, Yanks not playing their best ball, and yet in the final inning, they're essentially a swing away from getting it, or a call away, which I guess there's another annoying parallel. Okay, it's starting to add up to me why Yankee fans were a little more perturbed this weekend. Clark Schmidt stuff, the umps in this game, too.
I would have called up Schmidt. I've said that before the podcast.
We're both on that. Boone and Timms get ejected from this one. Nevin was hot in the first game. Was that the first game of this series, or was that the last game of the other series?
Nevin's got ejected in the last
series, the last game of the Philly series. So Yanks were running hot on the ump. So I'm starting to see it a little more. And yeah, I think there's, it's just the slightest twist of the knife a little more when it's like, hey, we are in this game. And then you're not.
They've been in a lot of them, which is good. It's just Kratz was catching, and you have 4 pitchers, and 3 of them made their debut in a sense.
It's true.
So the biggest news is Stan. Do you want to do that now?
Did the ball go off Gio in this game too?
Was that this one?
I think so, right? Yeah, it's one of the. I think it was the Kevin Smith RBI single. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to do Stanton news? Because the biggest blow from the doubleheader day is that Stan's out.
Yeah, so Stanton gets pinch hit for by Mike Ford, which rings the bell in the Yankees community. And, we talked about it on the pregame show. They ran Stanton out there back-to-back games, which we were surprised about. But we also liked, and we kind of thought that was a good sign. Stanton must be feeling good. They show a clip of him running the bases, slides into second. Looks like his knee gets just caught up a little bit. He checks it. There's a single to right later on that inning, and he very much trots to third base. And
was that when it happened? I thought they said it was some other time, right?
I thought it happened on advancing to second.
That
on the
slide
pitch.
play, yeah.
The slide play.
And it ends up being his hammy, tightened up. They're calling it a strain, which I think is less severe than a pull.
Oh, it's bad. Anytime Boone says, yeah, we're getting MRIs, but this is an IL stent.
IL stent.
Yeah. If it was slight, we'll see, might be day-to-day, they immediately said IL.
Well, I think you have to picture everything going on. It's a hammy and it's Stanton. He's going to the IL no matter what. I mean, look at the kitty gloves they were using him with. So I think strain they're actually using as a less significant than a pull. I think they were trying to drive that point home. Either way, it's Stanton. I mean, it's hindsight's 2020, and we were getting excited about playing Stanton more. But it is funny to look back at. I mean, he had that stolen base in Philly, against Philly, I believe. And then he had another just base running. He was moving good, but he still wasn't Giancarlo Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton is kind of he's a top-tier athlete that, not known for his speed, but, all of you were yelling for him to play left field at Yankee Stadium. So
yeah, we had people in the voicemail up saying he was running well. I was like, when?
Yeah.
He stole that one base. Other than that, he's going base by base. And
yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I think that essentially rules him out of the outfield for the rest of the year.
Yes. If he comes back from this, he will be DH only. And
which he will. I don't think it's Willie.
I think you're allowed to say that.
Okay. I disagree, but I'll allow it.
I mean, this is what he went down with last year.
Was it a strain? I don't know.
Soft tissue injury that may lead to this and may lead to that and may lead to this.
Hopefully none of the pitchers hit him in the knee while he's rehabbing. That was pretty weird.
It's a little bit of deja vu. It's a little bit of how can a guy whose body looks like that be so injured? Like, what's the point of him being like a Greek god of Marvel muscle?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if 40's healthy and hitting bombs and what's the point? It seems like a slap in the face from God.
Yeah, it's brutal. I mean, there's like you're touching on right now, if you do some zoom out stuff and Stanton's contract and everything, it's scary. I very much do expect to see him back this year.
I expect it, but anyone that's like, don't count on it, they have a right to say that right now.
A little bit. I mean, the injury history is there, and especially with the Yankees of recently, so I get it. I don't know. Interested to see. And hey, if you or any of the people out there wondering why they're trying to take it so slow with these guys, or why Judge they gave Judge an off day after the first doubleheader. Yeah, you're looking at it.
It's not a 60-game stretch.
When this happens, now it can leave us to the debate, will we see Giancarlo Stanton this year, which is the problem.
And you saw Gary go base by base, and you saw Judge have off days and go base by base. And I'm telling you, man, like, they're going to get a 3-game set in the playoffs. Now, standings do matter, and you much rather have first place so you can play the 8 seed or so you can play the 7 or 6 seed. It is not worth running these guys through the gambit after a weird off season, after a weird summer camp. Take it as light as possible. The Yanks will be in the postseason. It's almost going to be handed to them that they get a 3-game set. So all that matters, the next 7 weeks or whatever the hell it is, all that matters. Line up your 3 pitchers. Make sure your bats are healthy as they can be. They're going to do everything they can. They're not going to kill themselves day in, day out. You see them, like even Gio, you saw him go base to base once this year. It's a clear memo that's been sent. Don't kill yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously not a ton of speed guys on the team anyways that make their bread that way. You'll see Gardy go. You'll see Waiters go when he's out there. Even Hicksy actually had some decent base running today, so it looks like he's feeling a little better. But, yeah, everyone else is, unless the game is online, they're going to take it pretty easy. And, I'd say the only way that Jakey positive spin on that is that the depth is good. And, the off days would have been coming in 162 anyways, so don't let the off days bother you. It's a lot better when we have the big guys healthy.
A lot better. Now, do you want to do the other thing that, it was trending on Twitter, hashtag call up Clint.
Call up Clint.
Because they bring Tyro up instead of Clint. Do you have an award
let's
that base this is off of?
Let's just do the fourth game.
Okay.
And then we'll address the whole situation.
Cool. Game
Get the games
number
done.
4. On your mark. Get set. Burn, Jakey, burn.
Oh, don't you know, the big Maple Leaf James Paxton searching for anything out there today versus the only man saltier than Yankees fans this weekend, Charlie Morton. Top 1. Talk about Ford Duff. Hit by pitch RBI for Mike. Yanks are up 1-0 early. More importantly, Paxton found his mojo. He goes 6.1, 11 Ks, challenging people with his fastball, Jim. But when you have that much maple syrup, it can leave you feeling pretty bad. Boy, do I know. And oh no. 2-run homer for Brusso. He stays in for Lowe, and that's how we all feel. Paxton's day smeared by back-to-back homers at the end of this one. Still a great performance by him. Yanks score their other 2 runs on a Margot error. Britton looks a little rusty, gives up some action. Perez and the Rays walk it up. 3-4 loss, and Yanks lose 3 out of 4.
Frustrating game because Paxton pitching as well as he did should have had us all feeling fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm still happy about it. Still happy about it. I didn't hear Boone's reasoning for why he left him in there.
I'm slacking it to you now.
Okay.
Slacking to you now.
Because it is Boone's first biggest flub of the season, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's, again, I think any of us would have left Garrett Cole to try to get that last out, but especially with that happening this series, it feels like a little extra, And I believe Paxton's season high of pitches this year was 61. You and I did the pregame show this year, and I think you said this is your least confident game of the season. I think you gave a 0.0% chance of winning.
Yeah, I hammered the 0 comments on Paxton.
Yeah, and he comes out and he shoves. And, yeah, I mean, I think we were watching it at the JOMBOY Media HQ. We were wondering if he was going to come out for the 5th. We were wondering if he was going to come out for the 6th. And then he comes out for the 7th. And, yeah, man, you get it. I mean, he was rolling. He looked really good. It looks like he had a streak of, 1, 2, 3. Oh, God, I already lost the math on that one. I don't know. He got like 11 in a row out at that point going into the 7th. So, I mean, you kind of get it. And the Yankees bullpen is more depleted than you think. We're missing Chapman. We're missing Canely. Guys pitched multiple days that were ruled out. Chad most likely out. Otto definitely out for this game. So when you start thinking about who was available in the bullpen today, I think they were trying to get a little extra. And, it's funny how baseball can turn from let's hope this guy can give us 3 to get to Johnny Lasagna to, let him go get the 7th.
Here's Booney on it.
The 80s, you had Holder warming up. Do you second guess sticking with Paxton in that situation?
Well, I mean, I think you always do that a little bit. Felt like 85 or 90 with Pax today was where we were comfortable going. And then after he got the pop-up of Renfroe for the first out after the double, I have to look it back, but it looked like he made a decent pitch that Brasso got the head to for the 2-run homer. And then I wanted him to face Lau then at that point, the lefty on lefty, I felt like for his last hitter, and Lau got him. So, I mean, you're always going to do that. When you got somebody going there, but also felt like he was sound to go get it.
I understand everything he's saying. Fine, whatever. Right. I still disagree with it and think it's all nonsense. And the way I would think about that decision is completely different. I'd just take Paxton off the mound with the lead
Feeling
in
good.
store. So say Holder comes in and Lau hits the 1-run home run off of Holder, Paxton at least can say, I handed a lead to the bullpen. I needed that. I feel great. Instead, you see him screaming at himself, yelling at himself. The shoulders go slouchy. He's beating up stuff in the dugout. The Rays are talking smack to him, and his feeling in the clubhouse afterwards just not there. And I know a lot of the analytics people poo-poo the mental side of the game and the headspace, but I'll tell you what, every team employs a mental coach because the headspace part of baseball is so important. And Paxton's a guy that I think needed to walk off the mound, handing a lead to the bullpen. So I would have managed that on emotions more than strategy in play.
Yeah.
And if Holder gives up the 1-run homer to Lau, then so be it, and we'll deal with that then. But yeah, I just hope Paxton's happy with his outing because that was amazing, and the way he did it is so crazy. Maybe we have more on that later.
Yeah, and that's so couple things digging in. He went 0-2 to Brosseau. Fastball looking, fastball foul ball, fastball home run. So, you look back at even something like that and you're like, fastball in the zone, 0-2. That's a complaint we've said too many times already this year. So, don't like that. Kind of get it. He was rolling, and like I was said this while it was happening, because as I said, his high in a game this year was 61. I'm sure he threw more bullets off of that to help build up his arm strength. That's why they were allowing him to go. And yeah, I think I'm in lockstep with you, and I think this is the majority of Yankee fans. You give them, if you're going to give them the double to Martinez, you either go into that inning, say first base runner, you're done. That's kind of the old school way of managing. So even if that's out, when you give up that 2-run homer, you got the lead, and that's, the one thing I want to look into, Brandon
Like,
Lau.
even pick him up like, hey, we got you. Don't worry about that.
Brandon Lau, yeah, I mean, you still, when you get the ball from him, you still say, hey, that was a great fucking day.
And
man.
Boone, you could see Boone do that. He pat him on the chest,
Oh, yeah.
stopped him and all that.
But it's just a totally different emotion, you're right, and Lau was a lot worse versus lefties last year. Something, again, the fickle sport of baseball, Lau has actually crushed lefties so far this year. So, there's a lot of numbers and a lot of thoughts that go into it. I think this is Lau's third homer on all off lefties this year. So that's tough. Stings a little bit more, especially Holder, my guy, comes in and he's been doing a great job this year. So yeah, it sucks. And again, you start coping mechanism a little bit. The Yankees should have had two less runs. Manny Margot had a ball in his glove in deep center field. That pops out. Yankees score 2 runs. So the Paxton thing is a win. It doesn't feel nearly as much as a win as it should right now. And Britton, keep Zach Britton regular. The JOMBOY special. He hasn't been.
We actually had a good conversation about that. I don't know if that's an award conversation, but Yankees clearly burned out Britton. Britton said in the postseason last year, we can't do that.
Yeah.
You need starters. So it's a balance of, okay, Britton needs to be kept regular for him to pitch well.
Yeah.
But should we just wait on that till we're 2 weeks into the postseason so we can keep him regular going into the postseason and not gas him out by pitching him regularly throughout this whole 10-week stretch? Kind of goes to my entire brain. How much does this first shit matter compared to the 2 weeks before the playoffs? Because the Yankees will be there. It's if you use Britton regularly for 10 weeks, is he gassed out for the playoffs?
I think it's we've got 2 things in play here. We've got stealing outs and stealing rest.
Yeah.
And I think the Yankees, seeing the 2 off days coming up and knowing they hadn't used Britton, again, they end up using him in the 9th, and it kind of was the first time he should have come in this series. So at the same time, is what it is a little bit. But man, it's tough. You would have liked to have that game, especially any game you're up 3-0 going into bottom 7, you're gonna want that win. It gets away from them. Tough. Not ideal.
Nope. Let's go and move on to.
Well, do we want to do the Clint stuff? Because
Oh.
I don't think it comes up in awards.
No, so I mean, Clint or Andujar
Right.
will probably get called up on Tuesday
Yes.
after the off day.
Yeah, let's check the boxes. Tyro gets put on the roster because he was on and present at the taxi squad.
He was in Tampa Bay.
They have taxi squads this year. He was with the team. He was active for game 1 of the doubleheader, if I remember correctly.
Yes,
And
and
then
that was-
deactivated for game 2.
They activated him. They sent Tropiano down. This was so confusing, and I think we figured it out. They activated Tyro for the doubleheader, and he wasn't the 26th man. That was Albert Abreu.
Yeah.
They dropped Tropiano
Yeah.
to activate Tyro for the doubleheader. I think in case Glaber had an 0 for 4
Yeah.
day and looked horrible, they were not going to run Glaber out for the second half and
Yeah.
say, go get him again, Glabe.
At the Trop.
At the
yeah.
Trop. But Glaber had a great first half. He gets he gets a hit,
Yeah.
he gets a walk, and they're thinking, you know what? Instead of sitting him now, let's roll this so Glaber can keep going. Tyro, thanks for showing up. You're actually not going to get the start in game 2. And they send him off
Yeah.
in the middle.
Yeah.
Before game 2, Tyro was off the roster again.
Yeah.
And then Stan gets hurt at the end of game 2, so they put Tyro back on for the next game the next day, and it was just circumstance and happenstance because Tyro was in Tampa. You're not going to put Clint on and have him fly from Scranton to Tampa to sit on the bench when you can easily have Tyro just sit on the bench. The interesting part, and BBD brought this to our attention, Andujar was in Tampa with the taxi squad.
Yeah.
So they could have activated Andujar instead of Tyro, but if Andujar stays down on the satellite section, whatever it's called, for 13 days, BBD?
I believe it's 13 total days, and we're already like 4 days in.
We're already 4
by
or
the
5
time this
days in.
out, yeah, 8 or
So
so.
there's 8 more days for Andujar to stay down, and you get an extra year of service time, which is incredibly valuable, and they mess with that stuff all the time. I would expect Clint to get called up on Tuesday. Tyro goes back down, and they keep Andujar down there so he can accrue another year of service time. I do not expect Clint to get regular at-bats and start every day because you have Ford, who I think they like over... Well, we know that. They like over Clint right now, and he's hit a home run, and he's looking well and good. They also, while the DH is open and Stanton's gone, may really want to use it as the rotating rest for Judge, for Hicks, for Glaber,
Yeah.
for anyone. So, and Clint, if he does come up, he'll get at bats. But call up Clint was trending,
Yeah.
and all you had to do was check one beat reporter's feed or somewhere, and you can figure out why Tyro got the call over Clint. If they keep Tyro, Jake,
Right.
and don't call up Clint or Andujar, then that's messed up.
Yeah, and I don't think they will.
Me neither.
The Yankees beat reporters in Boone's interview before the game said it was pretty apparent that Booney was hinting that the Tyro.
He was like, we'll take Monday and readdress the roster.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
it all signs would point to Clint again with the Andujar stuff. If you're not as locked into baseball, all of what Jimmy just said is code for we get Andujar for another year when he's in his prime.
It also ups his trade value if they want to
If
trade
they
him.
hold
Like,
him back for 8 days, a little over a week, they could get, whatever you think Miguel Andujar can become for an extra full year. So that's what that is. And yeah, man, people think we are Clint haters. Clint deserves to get the call, and we think he will. We think he'll be on the roster by Tuesday.
He should get the call.
Yeah.
For sure. And he should get some starts at DH.
And here's what gets a little tricky. It's 2 games versus the Braves next week. This is jumping ahead a little bit, but it's part of the story. Yankees have an off day Monday, off day Thursday, and then 4 with the Red Sox that goes into Monday. Keep forgetting that. I think what you will see is you'll probably see Clint get a pinch hit at bat, for maybe Guardy or Ford if they have a lefty coming up, something like that. And then he probably gets 1 start during the weekend series. It's tough because you're surrounded by rest days, this Yankee team that was looking for rest. Although, who knows? The Yankees do love a good double rest, and this could be a time to steal rest, like we've been saying. So I would expect him to get 1 or 2 start in the coming week or something like that. And again, baseball's a brutal sport. Clint, we've seen Clint get hot, and maybe he does, and that would be awesome. we root for Clint. We root for people in pinstripes. It's also a brutal small sample, so we're not going to be killing him if he comes up and he has one game and doesn't get a hit. Like, that's not how baseball works. So we do think he should be on the roster. We do think he should be coming up. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, they might say screw the service time and bring Andujar up. I'd be a little surprised, but they may. If they keep Tyro and don't bring
Yeah.
up Clint nor Andujar, then let's all get loud.
Yeah, we are with that. We are with that. I doubt it happens because, again, we've got Tyler Wade, who we're barely using now. He's just been in the defensive replacement role more or less.
We got.
He didn't play. He didn't start in the doubleheader, right?
There's this one dude who listens to the show. Thank you for listening. That continues to tell me that we overhype Tyler Wade,
Sure.
and I'm like, are you listening to us correctly? How could you overhype someone when you don't want them to start but want them to be a defensive replacement and pinch runner?
I'm overhyping him.
Just because you look like him.
Yeah, it's eerie, spooky. Play something spooky. Yeah, I don't know about all that. Yeah, tough for Wade. You show up to a doubleheader day, you're thinking,
Gotta get in.
gotta get the start today, right, Skip? So yeah, we will see. All signs point to Clint. And hey, baseball's a funny I Maybe he gets his chance and he starts rolling, and who knows, another injury, and this is the opportunity Clint's looking for. We'll see. I said it I said it last time, and maybe it's the Jakey Jinx. I was like, Miguel Andujar is going to be a part of this team pretty soon. Service time reasons, he might not. So we'll see how it plays off. Baseball is funny how it works. And, we hate Clint. We want him on the team by Tuesday. So do we? Or do we just take things into focus sometimes?
I hate how much of a distraction, not even him, but like
Right.
every voicemail that we get calls about him no matter what.
Right.
And not about like DJ or Judd. It's just like he's a lightning rod.
It's a lightning rod.
But he should get called up but like that's like again like the hashtag call up Clint today
right.
is a little bit just a good insight into how crazy everyone's being currently. Like, do that on Tuesday if he's not called up. It's warranted.
Right.
Full out. It's pretty much just a
They're
circumstance.
excited about him. It is funny. I had people digging in saying he was a bigger prospect than people, and it's like, why do you care?
Oh,
Why
people give
do
you the prospect
yeah,
rankings?
Yeah, they're like, he was this huge prospect. He's never gotten his chance. And it's like, well, if you look back, him and Mike Talkman got the same opportunity.
You could give me a prospect
And Talkie
ranking right
took it.
now, and I'd grab it and crumble it up and throw
Right.
it out of like the current prospects.
Jesus Montero, stud prospect. Bring him back.
Prospect rankings.
Give him a chance.
Prospect rankings is just Keith Law making a list.
It's a guess. It's an educated guess.
They're kind of fun.
It's It's fun to look back.
I don't find them fun. I understand why you would find them. I take 0.0 stock
Right.
into that shit. I don't care.
We'll get you one day.
I love it when they do.
Lifeblood
I
of
love
the
it when
team.
they do like organizational prospect.
Right.
Like he's the 10th best prospect in the Yankees org.
Right.
Oh, that means he's probably not that high of a prospect at all.
Never know.
30 teams.
It's the beauty of this sick sport.
Yeah, whatever. But Clint should get called up on Tuesday. If he's not, riot. Unless
we'll
it's
riot.
Andujar.
We'll riot with you. Unless it's Andujar.
Unless it's Andujar, then it's well, what are you going to do then? They're both.
or maybe Clark Schmidt.
Well, they have to call up a bench player.
Right. You have to have four.
You have to have four. So
No, what? Call Clark up too.
When's Hap supposed to pitch?
Never. 2 off days.
So have they announced who's pitching?
Let's see. Boston series. Oh, Jake, yeah, that's going to bring it up.
Jill in the chat said I'm a 0.0 kick today, and I am. I think
You
I
are.
dropped it like 3 times.
You're on a big 0.0 kick. Don't hate it, though. Not cocky, I'm confident. Tell me I'm the best, it's a compliment. Let's see.
You've said that a couple times.
Tuki
today.
Toussaint will be thrown in for the Braves, if that
Cool.
helps. Game 2, they don't have anyone listed. Let's reverse engineer it a little bit, because I think in theory it would be Hap, but he's bad. Come on. Tanaka? Tanaka pitched Friday.
Saturday,
no, Monty
Sunday.
Tanaka. Monty pitched the last Phillies game. Tanaka had the first Tampa Bay start.
It could be Tanaka if they wanted to skip Monty. They
Um,
could go Tanaka Cole. I don't think they will, but they could.
I don't think so. Saturday to Wednesday? Does that
Oh, it'd be
line
4
up?
days rest.
Yeah.
Never mind. So it's Monty Tanaka.
I think Monty Tanaka's the right play. And then, another off day, and you'll have Garrett Cole starting off the Red Sox series.
Rob Beer just followed me on Twitter, so
Pretty huge.
huge. That's like what you wanted to do in college, Rob Beer.
Rob Beer. Just when they leave the trucks open, it was just like, what?
Yeah.
You don't care. This would make my year.
All right, let's move on to awards. Awards today are brought to you by Jake's Butt.
Hey now.
Who goes first?
I believe it's me.
You get Sundays?
As of now, I believe I have Sunday's producer BBD confirmed. Ooh, Jim. There's 2 that jump out. One is close to your heart. One is not. I'll go James Paxton. I'll talk about my guy.
I was giving it to him if you didn't.
We have started a phrase, or it's not a new phrase, but on Talkin' Baseball, we've stumbled into it. Paxton dropped dick today.
Ooh.
I mean, so we looked at the Raider gun early.
The Raider gun.
The Raider gun.
Line up that Raider gun, son.
Sorry, that's when I was still a scout in South Texas. Paxton wasn't lining up the Raider gun today, but he sure was dropping dick on them boys. Paxton, again, 92-93, which I do think, and maybe we'll have to get the sharp stats from Katie, it looked like the fastball was slightly up from where it's been. I think that report came out mid-game. Not much, but
From where it's been.
from where it's been. From where
Like,
it's been.
if
2019, 2020.
If the first 2 games didn't happen and this was it, we'd still
just
be
as
like,
much
oh,
concern.
shit.
Just as much concern. But again, on the pregame show, I told you, let's see some progress. You know, we heard that the release point got a little better last start. I believe the mile per hour went up. Let's keep trending upwards. That's a good thing. And by the way, he was fantastic. He was fantastic. We got a 0.0 confidence from you on the pregame show. I was hoping to get 3 innings to get it to Johnny Lasagna and have a chance against Charlie Morton. That's baseball, Susan. He was lights out. I wonder if he was working on more arm slot stuff. I mean, nobody was on his fastball till the end of the game. Just like nobody. He was 1 hit till the 7th. So he was lights out. The Ks were there, 11 Ks. It wasn't like balls were getting hit at people. He dominated this game. He was pitching in Paxton fashion, and I know that's something we had been discussing that was like, hey, if it's not working for you, rebrand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, locate and keep it low and away and try that side. He said, screw that. I'm coming at you, and it looked beautiful today. The ending sucks, but, you know, again, we started lining up the next series coming up. If James Paxton had another bad day, we'd be yelling IL. We'd be screaming for Clark Schmidt. We'd be debating who do you want to see on the mound next, Paxton or Happ. And here we are, Paxton with our best pitching performance of the season. How about that shit?
I mean, everything that I thought and said was wrong. He shoved. He did it by throwing his lesser fastball more.
Just turned it up.
And in counts when he wanted to get a strikeout,
Yeah.
he used the fastball.
Yep.
So I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah.
Had a little more ring to it. We were watching live. He did use a little more pine tar than you usually see him gripping with the hat. So maybe Cole slipped him some.
Just a little bit of the good stuff.
I still had a couple extra jars. I got a couple extra jars from Houston.
In the live chat.
Jesus Christ.
For the patrons. Erica saying that Coney kept saying his pitches had life today. I kept making that joke that he, late life, because of course that's what you want to say. Jonathan Garcia saying his spin rate was up. It felt that way. I was yelling spin efficiency, jokingly, hoping it's right. And again, that's, they've got technology. They've got the cameras. God, the chat's hot. Thomas Risley saying 200 RPM more of spin. So good.
So he pine tarred it up.
A little more pine tar, I want to hear the good bullpen sesh story. Him and Matt Blake.
My Blake.
Like out there, make Matt Blake with the radar gun, and a little
Raider gun.
a little more late life. On
Forget a Raider gun.
the
Say it's pine tar.
Was he Canadian? Good job, James Paxton. Pride of the Yankees. We would have lost that
Bet, yeah.
big time.
Yeah, 0.0 chance.
Who's your pride?
My pride of
Do
the
it.
Yankees is.
Come on.
You ready?
I think you're going the other way, but I want you to go the non-other way.
I don't know what you're thinking. No clue what you're thinking. My pride of the Yankees is Masahiro Tanaka.
Let's go!
Can I drop some math on you guys?
I don't know.
Are you ready for some math?
I might call a timeout.
Are you ready
That's
for
not
some...
our strength, man.
Are you ready? Are you ready for some math?
I guess so, dude.
Okay. On July 24th, okay?
July 24th,
2018.
2018.
Tanaka against the Yankees. Playing for the Yankees against the Rays. He pitched 9 innings, shutout baseball, 105 pitches. That's 11.6 pitches per inning.
Okay.
Okay, now follow with me. On June 17th, 2019,
Yep.
9 shutout innings against the Rays. He threw 111 pitches.
111 pitches.
That's 12 pitches an inning to
12.
get the complete game shutout.
12 PPI.
In this series, Tanaka, 5 innings pitched, 1 hit,
Big time.
0 earned runs, 59 pitches. That's 11.8 pitches per inning. This was Tanaka's complete game shutout against the Rays. Pitch count just got in the way.
Yeah.
If he's mid-season,
Yeah.
if he has no pitch count,
He'll get one.
he's going complete game shutout in the Trop like he does once every year.
Right.
It's a weird season. It got taken away from him. It's not his fault. It's just Giancarlo Stanton's fault for hitting him in the head with that baseball and ruining his spring.
Yeah.
So he is the pride of the Yankees.
Yeah.
Talk about dick dropping tour. He does that every time he sees the Tampa Bay Rays.
He just calls that waking up.
This was his complete game shutout. It just didn't happen. It should have, though. He was on his way to easily doing it again. He owns the Rays. And, dude, think about all the pitching woes.
Yeah.
If Tanaka's not there, then you're worrying about literally everyone. And people will probably be worrying about Tanaka right now, but if playoff Tanaka hasn't
Oh, my God.
told you not to worry about it in a season where we're going to the postseason, you can pencil Tank in as long as he's healthy. 1.76 ERA in the postseason. Yeah, man. It's just really good to see that. And that's what I'm saying. Tanaka doing that and Paxton doing that are bigger wins for me than the Yankees only winning 1 game this series.
And you know what? He's looked good stuff, Jim.
Thank you. A lot of
Good
math.
stuff. A lot of math. Big math.
I
pot
did
here.
well, though?
You did great. You did great. Didn't listen, be honest. Tanaka looks good. Fastball's got a little extra life, which is getting everybody excited. The other stuff looks good. He's only given up 1 earned run this year. No homers. Strikeout per inning. Tanaka looks good. I'm excited to see the build-up. And, Jim, I'll play this card because why not? Say enough stuff and something might stick. How about a little extra rest for Tanaka? Tanaka's thrown a lot of innings the past few years. He's had a lot of games started. He's been out there. He gets a little more extra rest this year. Goes home for a little extra time, leaves the country. Smart move, Tank. We kind of screwed a pooch.
Yeah.
How about Tanaka a little fresher, looking good, fastball's got some life, and yeah, man, get him into the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying.
Get him into the playoffs.
Just get me there.
Good stuff. Nailed it.
Thank you.
Nailed it.
I didn't play the sound effect.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Yeah.
That's what we just did. Moving on.
You Yankee motherfucker.
Ooh.
Get mean, Jake.
We lost 3 baseball games this set. We don't do that a lot. It's not Eric Kratz. God, this is tough, Jim.
The individual stats for these 4 games are weird, man.
Yeah, a lot of the hitters had bad days. I've got half a cop-out, and I want you to check me on it and see if it's allowed.
I have a full cop-out.
Okay, we might have the same cop-out.
The fan base?
Ooh, okay. I was going to go Booney.
You can go Booney. I'm going.
Is that okay?
I'm going the fan base.
Okay. Jimmy reveals his. I'll go Booney. Okay, a lot of the hitters didn't have great numbers. There's a lot of good pitching in this series. That's fine. hey, I know a lot gets handed down to Aaron Boone, and I'm, Paxton today. I think there's an easy argument to make that we would have liked to get him out there with still the lead. Incredible performance. Garrett Cole, you got to make tough decisions as a manager. Again, I'm not saying I would have taken Cole out. I probably would have left him in there because he's one of the best pitchers in baseball and he wanted to be out there. But the decision ends up backfiring, and it was clearly a discussion. So no, I'm not even going to say the next words because people would run at that. But if I'm looking back, there's a couple tough ones, and so I'll go there. Sorry.
Wow.
It's just because I have such high expectations for him.
No, I think there's a couple tough decisions there.
They're tough. Sometimes they don't go your way.
Cool. As you know, I'm going Yankees fans.
Yes, even tougher. Thanks for listening.
Not the people that listen.
Right.
It's basically.
It's kind of not. It's absolutely not.
It's not our audience. No, it's just. I mean, I tweeted out like, "Wow, Paxton looks really good," and vast majority of the responses were, "Well, the Rays suck."
Yeah.
So like, we're not even allowed to celebrate good things.
A
right
World
now.
Series favorite.
First place team going through a tough stretch.
They're out of it now.
Just too much for me, man. We didn't get baseball. We're in this funky season. Yanks want to go 8-1. They level out a little bit.
Yeah.
Some good things happened. Like there's tangible, and that's what the guy in our chat kept saying. There's tangible worries. Yes.
Sure.
There are some tangible worries. Paxton needs to
Always.
get there. But, like, you couldn't even say anything positive.
Yeah.
You just get killed with negativity.
Yeah.
Killed with it. So it was frustrating to try and have conversations with people about the team. It wasn't fun.
Yeah, it really was frustrating, and that's one of our favorite things to do.
I
Have
love
the conversations.
having conversations with people at the Yankees on social platforms across the board.
Hell, I'm Sunday night. I might even tweet it out. Does anyone want to chat? We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling later. No promises. Yeah, man, it sucks. And anytime anything goes wrong between anything pitching and catching, it's Gary Sanchez stinks.
Gary looks bad this series.
Here's one thing we admittedly don't know. Well, two things actually. The cross-ups, we're not really sure. We
Stop putting him on his knees for Britton. It's not going to work.
that was the other thing.
We did it with Katie Sharp. His pitch framing has been better. It looks juvenile and bad, but the results have been there. And they hired a new catching coach specifically to do this with Gary.
Yeah.
With Britton sinker, even if he throws it exactly where he wants it to throw it, Gary's going to have trouble in that position. So, I don't know if with Britton you can have Gary on a knee. It just doesn't seem like it's ever going to work out.
No.
And whatever the sequence and the pit, there's too many cross-ups right now. I don't know whose fault that's on. Gary kind of scolded Britton on that one.
Gary gave Britton the eyes, so we'd like to think that one was on Britton.
And then, with all the strikeouts, Gary could easily be a motherfucker, but we've kind of done that a lot already.
Yeah, and hey, we so get it. We want Gary to hit. But yeah, if you get mad about him and everything, and that was probably my favorite tweet I saw today was someone was like, "Hey, Paxton's pitching well. Has anyone given Gary credit?" No. I mean, Gary has basically turned into a pitching coach or an umpire, like
manager.
We only want to notice him if he does something terrible.
But he's bad.
Hitting wise, kind of was really close to a home run today. That would have been really nice.
That would have been
but he
awesome if
didn't.
that hit the pole.
So yeah, Jim, it's kind of fair. It's not our fans, but be a little better, Yankee fans.
No, but for 3 years, I just loved talking with people about the Yankees, and it's impossible right now.
I think this season's turned up for a lot of people, and it's currently turned down for you too, which is part of the.
Yeah. Hey, if second place was that 1-game wild card, I would be.
Oh yeah.
I would be, but it's not. It's not.
Oh yeah.
All right. Next up, regular old awards.
Regular old awards, Jim.
What you got?
I'm going with the Rush Hour 2 award.
This one's always interesting.
It's a big one. Near and dear to my heart.
Is this going to Luke Voigt?
So close. I am not giving Luke Voigt a award because it'll just turn into me yelling about how slow he is. I can't, man.
Who's getting the Rush Hour 2 award?
The Rush Hour 2 award goes to Jonathan Holder.
I had him pegged for an award as well.
I got a lot of shit last year, and deservedly so, for diving deep into the Johnny Holder train. I said, if he was on a terrible team, I think he could be closing out games. Again, I meant that in the deepest of cuts. Like if he went to the Royals or the Orioles, I think they'd maybe give him a chance back there. John Holder was very bad last year. Johnny Holder's been good this year, man. I think the ERA is at 0, which is good. We like that.
6.2 innings pitched on the season.
6.2 innings pitched. So it's, it was a small sample. Again, he doesn't look, we're not walking away with that Dellin Betances feeling where it's like, holy smokes. That's a wiffle ball.
Big double play today helped him out.
Gets a big double play with Gio. He came in after the Paxton situation and finished that inning, which if that went on longer, that would have felt really bad. But, yeah, man, he looks solid. And the bigger thing, and I'll kick it to you on this, Jim, because you've been noting it, the stuff looks better.
I am going to the websites right now because I want to see if the movement has increased.
I saw one of the baseball nerdy accounts tweeting that Johnny Holder needs love, and I was like, whoa, are we getting good numbers? Because I've gotten away from looking at his numbers because they've gotten me in trouble in the past.
So
what do you got?
Last year his slider broke on average 4.9 inches.
Oh, been there.
And now his slider is breaking 7.5 because he threw it a couple times today, and it was like sweeping.
Yeah, it was.
I never remember him having a big.
It was so far out of the zone, it wasn't good, but it had good shape.
So he almost doubled his slider break,
and that's been his third best pitch so far.
His changeup is now. I don't know how to read these stats.
Okay.
The vertical movement was -1 inch, so no break.
Down.
Down?
No break.
What does that mean, down?
Maybe everything's down.
Because it says average inches.
So is it 1 inch?
It says -0.1 was last year.
His changeup?
Yeah.
What is it now?
That's not. What is it now? Good question.
-1.2.
Okay, and it's dropping.
That's vertical break.
Does it have horizontal?
Yeah. Horizontal. It's one. I don't know how to read this.
Okay,
It's one. We'll have to get Katie's stats on this.
I assume the negative means down.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. Well, the slider didn't.
Because
mean
it can't
down,
not
so
move.
That doesn't make sense at all.
It
It's
can't not
inches.
move.
I think they're saying his changeup before was just kind of a slower fastball, which adds up to the eye test, in my opinion.
A little bit. So yeah, either way, Holder looks solid. He looks usable. If we were doing a bullpen rankings, I think he'd, kind of sneak up as of now. Keep doing it, man. And more importantly, be a guy that if we're up 3 runs in the 5th inning and we need a clean 5th, if you can give us that, that'd be huge. And we're starting to get that feeling back. So, Johnny Holder, my guy.
Jake's guy. All right, my first award is the Abraham Lincoln Award.
Oh, Honest Abe.
Yes.
Honest Abe.
Who do you think is getting it?
I'm not sure. I don't know the Lincoln connection. I know you've been on a big Talkie kick, and he probably deserves an award, so I'll guess Talkman.
No, Michael King.
King or wow, okay.
King's post-game press conferences are the most honest I've ever heard a player ever be, and it's half bizarre, half cool, half I'm like, dude, you don't need to do this.
Right.
They asked him what happened out there, and he said, well, I thought I had the strikeout to get out of the inning, and after that I kind of lost my composure and just couldn't throw strikes anymore because I took myself out of the mindset and the zone. And then I just walked the next 2 guys, and I was like, man, I know that's what happened.
Yeah.
And it's cool that you admit it, but also, I don't know if I don't know.
Right.
I've just never seen a player be that honest in his post game. To be honest with you, I thought I had strike 3, so I mentally thought the inning was over, and then I was upset with the umpire, and I couldn't come back from it.
Yeah.
Whoa!
There you go.
It's like,
That's it. No, not very Lance Lynn.
no.
Not very Lance Lynn.
He also like told everyone his exact strategy, which was cool. I tweeted that out on when he uses his 2-seamer versus 4-seamer and stuff. So I don't know. It's not. It's like a weird award. It's just a talking. The awards are talking points I want to bring up, and I think like it's a bummer because he started the game off with 2 walks and he got out of that inning, only giving up 1 run. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it was
And
bases hooked. He
the
walked
second
in
and the third inning,
He got
looked
hot.
great.
Really good.
And you're not expecting to give you 4. And if that pitch is called a strike and
Yeah.
not a ball, we are giving him a huge award
Yeah.
and saying let him take over the rotation. Like if that pitch is called a strike, he just gave us 4 innings of 1-run ball and looked great. But things fell apart at the end, so we're not having that conversation. But if that ump gave him the call, you know, it's like that's the weird world of baseball. If he got that call, man, we'd be like, put him in.
And I was
start him.
I was ready to eat some crow because I was kind of over my King, and to a degree. I mean, it just depends what you're expecting. And he got hot. I think he had like 8 in a row or something like that. He really got going. For me, you know, that fastball is really nice, and a good fastball, you can have a major league career with that, and it moves. You know, I want to see a little more from the other stuff, and that'll come with time. I think it's just funny that in the nicest way, he looks like a rookie. And that's fine. We just don't get a ton of that in Yankee land. Like, again, like what you're saying. I mean, an inch away or an umpire spasm away from having a great day, and that's baseball a little bit. So, okay. The Abe Lincoln
Award. Breaking news, and we're running late, but the Indians just sent Zach Plesac home for violating health and safety protocols. He went out with friends in Chicago, and his own teammates were like, they cut him. Remember the Titan style?
They didn't cut.
No, they sent him home for like 72 hours. But
That's what I was asking for the news. So
no, they didn't
wanted
cut
to
him.
make
But
sure.
like, just they were.
Yeah.
Teams are taking this serious. They don't want what happened to the Cardinals and Marlins.
Dude.
So Yankees.
This week's Cardinals series also got canned
Yeah.
like 15 minutes ago.
Which one?
Upcoming
Cardinals.
They're starting to hit a weird territory, man. They're running out of days.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, Yankees players.
Yeah.
I hope that we don't do this.
Well, I think, and that's probably, you know, the Yankees are a veteran clubhouse that probably had that full-on talk. Like, you know, don't. It's not an option for this year. Well, the Indians probably didn't, but good for them. Good for them. Because, yeah, the Cardinals, if you haven't been following, they haven't played for a little over a week now. Their next series just got canceled, and the Yankees hit the quarter pole of their season, and the Cardinals have played 5 games, something like that. So, you know,
They haven't played since July 29th. They've played 5 total games.
and like, what do they look like when they come back? And you know, that's a team with a good baseball history, and their season could be out.
His quotes to Clevenger was like, "Hey, we're not going to run to daddy and tell MLB to suspend you. We're gonna kick you off as your teammates. Like, we need to be able to trust you, and this is about a damn. That's it's a tough look for Plesac.
And you can hear more
I'm talking baseball.
about Clevenger taking a leadership role. JOMBOY on the Momentum channel.
Yes.
Ad.
Clev.
Love your Clevenger impression. Kind of gets me going.
That's how he talks, man.
I know. Okay.
You're up.
Let's see. Tyro was active for the second game.
Plesac been
technically.
pitching so good.
It's really good.
Plesac been.
I don't know if the Yankees would have given him the boot. Maybe a couple rapid tests and a stern talking to.
21 innings pitched with a 1.29 ERA for them
That's
so far.
crazy. Wow. My second award is the Andy Bernard Award.
Oh.
Andy Bernard
Wow.
Award.
Yeah.
Andy Bernard.
Angela, it's pretty easy. Just look at what I'm doing and tell somebody.
Yeah.
That's my.
Got BBD.
It's one of my favorite quotes in TV history.
Good one.
What? What's wrong? What do you want me to do, Andy? Angela, it's pretty simple. It's floating down the river in the sumo suit. For
Yeah.
those that don't know.
It's good.
What's the Andy Bernard?
Andy
Award?
Bernard's actually, I love him in The Office.
They ruined him in the later seasons.
Towards the end, I don't even almost count some of those seasons. But yeah, he's got some good parts. And I think it's a lot of internal reflection. Guy who sings a lot is annoying. Yuppie, Connecticut. Anyways.
They sent. Is this an anger management award?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm giving it because Andy Bernard, before the Halper wedding, I believe he tries to do a split, and he rips his scrotum. Yeah, Pam has to take him to the hospital. It's on splits, Jim, and the award goes to Luke Voigt, and that was a little throw-off because I said I wasn't going to give Luke Voigt an award.
Wow, you threw us off.
Still slow as hell. Hit the ball in the gap today. I thought he was going to have a chance. No.
I think you got to change your... Because I thought there was 0-0 chance that he was going to score on that from
You
first.
missed the start of that double, though. It was like a slow double. It was like definitely dropping. It took a lot of hops. It split the outfielders.
It could be a grounder down the line in the corner. I don't have Voigt score. Like, my expectations are that he will never... Like, you got to...
Right. I just... Every time. Like, I had 40 scoring on that. Anyways, I saw something going around the Yankees universe about Voigt splits, and... it starts in late last season, and you just have to be careful about that. Luke Voigt was very hurt. He was not the same player. Jim, Voigt's stats this series, he goes 3 for 10. He's got the walk, so 300, 364 on base. I mean, Luke Voigt, he's still doing it. He's been a threat. He's been contributing all season. 535 slugging. The on-base is a little low, but I expect that to catch up. 256 batting average. And Ford's going to start playing, which is going to have a lot of people talking, especially if Mike Ford takes off. Voigt is also going to be playing a lot. And just know that still Luke Voigt is a bigger part of this team than Ford. Interested to see what Ford does, if he does make it more a battle. But, I mean, Luke Voigt, he's done it. He's a threat in the middle of the lineup. I kind of like him in that 5-hole, the rotating 5. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just funny. Going back and looking at the stat lines from the series, the only other good stat line was LeMahieu, who just is DJ LeMahieu. So, yeah, I mean, Voigt, again, he just kind of almost flies under the radar a little bit and just has another Luke Voigt series.
Should have had a nice hit as well. Should have had a lot of hits. Squaring up the ball.
Squaring it up. Barreling it.
Hair looks weird.
A little bit. You're not wrong. But,
I mean, he should be an everyday player now with a DH available, right?
Right?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So the Andy Bernard Award.
Andy Bernard Award.
Splits.
Be careful with them. I love butter knifing with the best of them. Be careful of the splits.
Okay. I am giving the Spiritual Journey Award.
Oh, I almost gave out a similar... Or no, I had something in my burns that I went into spiritual stuff. It was for Paxton. So it's probably not that. Who is it?
Well, I don't know if you know that the number 400 symbolizes going on a spiritual journey, ending and beginning a phase or a cycle in your life. It also symbolizes patience, determination, pragmatism, the universal energy, wholeness, oneness, endings and new beginnings, tradition, and building foundations for the future.
The guy who you're giving this award to actually told me about this.
Yes,
Yeah.
in depth. If you want to know more about what the number 400 means, you can go to angelnumber.org/400.
Yeah, add.
And that'll get you there. And it's DJ LeMahieu.
Yeah.
He's taking us all on a spiritual journey.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's make it scary.
ending and beginning a phase, ending his 2 years with the Yankees, beginning his next 4 years with the Yankees.
Yeah.
Probably going to hit for the cycle at one point.
Always.
Patience. Dude never rushes to speak. Will
Can't.
take some pitches.
Can't play with him.
Determination.
Yeah.
Almost the most determined guy out there. He said it was, unacceptable.
Yeah.
We need to be held accountable. Pragmatism. What's that word?
Pragmatism?
Yeah. That's the next word in the definition of the meaning of the number 400. A philosophical tradition that began in the United States.
Okay.
Being pragmatic, I guess. Just practical. I would guess. He's very practical. Super pragmatic guy. And wholeness, oneness. So you get it. DJ LeMahieu.
Wholeness, oneness, I get it. DJ LeMahieu.
In this series, DJ LeMahieu had a 3.13 batting average, a 3.89 on base percentage, 5 hits in the 4 games. He's very good. He's got a 400 batting average on the season so far. Did he have a hit in every game?
Every game.
Yes.
Let's see.
Yeah, he did. He had a hit in the
yeah.
first 3, and he had 2 in the last one. So, I mean,
Yeah. He's silly, man.
don't forget that he's really good.
It's seemingly impossible how easily he flicks fastballs to right field for a single.
It's kind of all he was trying to do.
He would have had 7 hits this series if G-Man Choi,
Was born without hands,
yes.
but still got to be a first baseman.
I think G-Man would have made 1 plays without hands.
Okay.
Just body and a kick.
Body and a kick.
Head body, head body, head body.
Okay.
I haven't talked about that enough on here. LeMahieu's awesome. Keep an eye on the fielding. He just wasn't smooth on a couple plays this series. There's that weird double play pump fake. There's a couple. The first Paxton hit, like Paxton would have had a no-hitter.
Perfect game.
Yeah, so that's pretty nutty. So yeah, DJ's insane. Jim, you got me into some on-base percentages because I was wondering if there was a chance you were going Hicksy, because Hicks's on-base percentage goes up to 388 after today. Kind of insane how he gets ignored sometimes. Stanton had a crazy on-base that will be missed. Gio Urshela currently getting on base at a 393 clip. So
393.
he's unbelievable.
Did he have a bad game? Did he have a bad last game?
0 for 4 today.
Okay, because before that it was 453.
Yeah. If you go on ESPN, it has the updated stats at the end of the game.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So a couple guys who could have been talked about. Tough ball off Urshela in that other game.
Dude, Stan was playing so well.
Yeah, he was. He really was. We're going to miss him a little bit.
Stan had a 453 on base percentage with a 585 slugging. 3 doubles and 3 home runs. He was playing so good. I hope he's back soon. I think that if people want to say, hey, be ready for him not to come back soon because of history, they can. I hope he's back soon.
Hoping like 3 weeks, but we'll see. We'll see. You can't predict.
I just hope it's not 3 days before the playoffs again.
Yeah, that would be tough. What else do we have, Jim? Who do we talk about? We didn't talk about Judge a lot. He hit a big home run.
Still doing pretty good.
Shella's double was really cool.
Dude, I gave them MFer to Yankee fans.
Ben Heller.
I saw BBD. Did I not see Yankees fans saying Judge was slumping?
I don't immediately recall that, but I believe it.
I think after game 1, I saw that because he was 167 his last 4 games. And then he had 3 hits in the game 1 of the doubleheader. But I think I did see that.
Slugging 717. What else keeps Zach Britton regular? Avalon has his first pretty meh performance. Walk day. Albert Abreu makes his debut. Kind of really cool fastball. Pretty young. Doesn't seem to be in this year's game plan, but congrats on getting to the big kid. Did we say anything about Talkman? You're running pretty hot on Talkman. Talkman looks good.
He's going to
Get
be in
him
the
at bats, yeah.
He's going to be in the rotation that you talked about.
Yeah.
He's going to be out there and
I mean, man, I think they'll start giving Judge DH days to play those guys in the outfield. Mike Talkman is a very big part of this team.
yeah, now that Judge can DH and it's not clogged up by Stan, you're going to see Hicks, Gardy, Talkman a lot with Judge DHing.
Look for Baby Glaby started coming around, hit some nice singles on some tough pitches.
A lot of people were calling for a stepping stone award for Glaber.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been warranted, but I didn't give it to him. Talkman's hitting 310 with a 355 on-base percentage in 31 plate appearances. So
I think that's kind of it. Chad Green gives up his first run, but he still looks crazy good.
can I find Talkman's splits real quick in games started?
Surely.
So we take away those at-bats he got at the end of games where he didn't start.
Eric Kratz's show was fun. Always is.
Because I think Talkman's, when you take away his pinch hitting, I think it's even crazier.
Right.
Yes. Okay. So as a starter, Talkin has a 346 batting average, an 832 OPS, a 370 on base percentage. He's 0 for 3 in his pinch hit appearances, which drops everything down a little bit. When he's out there, he's playing, dude. Doesn't he have 4 steals? He's got 4 stolen bases.
4 swipes, no caught
in
stealings.
11 games.
So, yeah, keep it going, Talkie.
Any chance the Yanks start sending Kratz out for Britain? I don't think Kratzy's a defensive whiz.
No. I will say this. I mean, we obviously love Gary and know that Gary will be the best option at catcher for this season and probably a lot of future seasons. I mean, it is getting tough. Let's see. After today,
the numbers are horrible.
Yeah, I mean, he's hitting 103. He gets a hit today, so that brought it up to 103. It's starting to get to go time. We're going to see the Sox again this weekend. Their pitching stinks. We start getting it on the board, Care.
Yeah. I think that ends the show here today. Thank
so.
you guys very much for tuning in.
What do we got? We got voicemails tomorrow. Call in. Leave some voicemails.
Voicemails tomorrow. Call in.
Sharp stats.
Some topics. I'm interested in Holder's pitching mix.
Yeah, two game series, so you'll be hearing from us on Wednesday.
And we'll be live on Wednesday for game 2.
Yep, at the end of the Braves series. And then on to the Sox. Anything else, BBD?
Not talking Yanks, but some exciting interviews on Talking Baseball this
Yeah,
week.
we
Should we let them know? This comes out Monday.
This comes out
it'll
Monday.
be the next day. Yeah,
Patrons in the chat.
Let everyone know on Talking Yanks. We have on Tuesday, so tomorrow, for most people listening on the apps, on Talking Baseball, we have Rob Lowe.
And his son, Matt.
And his son, Matthew, on the podcast.
We talk some Dodgers.
Literally not to promote anything.
Yeah.
Just because they're huge baseball fans. Huge Dodgers fans.
It blows Rob's mind that the Astros kind of got away with things, so he's been on a Screw the Astros tour, so very cool. Rob
Easily
and Matt.
the most famous person we've had come on a podcast.
And he's everything you want him to be, and he's a genuine baseball fan, so that was really cool. And then later in the week with Talking Baseball, we interview Mark Adanazio, owner of the Brewers. So, I think that might not sound as sexy as Rob Lowe, but when you actually think about it, I mean, it's one of 30
My
people.
dad said to me, so that's kind of like getting Steinbrenner.
Ooh, that's a hell of a spin.
Because he's an owner.
It's true.
Imagine.
It's very true, yeah. No, owners don't really do that stuff. So, I mean, it's not like it wasn't hard hitting. We didn't corner them and talk negotiations and stuff, but it's still a pretty unique perspective to hear. So,
well, since Talking Yanks was our flagship show, I
guys
bet
hope-
there's some people listening that have been listening since the audio quality wasn't real mics. And probably I know a lot of you enjoy the journey. So that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it as always. I think we're going to get behind-the-scenes Bill to send out some jerseys this week.
Yeah, Katie. I mean, we have to announce the winners on the show, and then they have to prove that it was them who left the review, and then all that.
So, thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Go Yanks. Homestand coming up. And, Jim, I actually got something that will excite you.
What's that?
So, the Rays didn't, dominate this series, and Yanks kind of slopped it up a little.
I don't think the Rays are good. Oh, hey, sorry. I'm not more scared of the Rays because of what happened this weekend.
Right. No. And I wasn't saying that either. I still think the Rays are a good baseball team, and I think this might energize them a little bit and get their season going. I will say this. I think when the Rays come back to the stadium, and this happened last year, I think the Yankees do like to remind the Rays that they got a little more in the chamber. Yeah. So I think look out for that when the Rays come to Yankee Stadium. I wouldn't be surprised. It looked like there was some words exchanged with Paxton. They were throwing up and in. That got discussed. So next Rays at Yanks. Don't be surprised if older brother, doesn't spot them a couple points.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys very much. Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.